everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yusef Kush Dorman L. I'm the founder of NU Season, African Drumming and Holistic Counseling. This is my father, Baba John L. Baba John Lowell Dorman L. My father is 78 years old. 78 years old. He's still drumming and still doing his thing. I was trained from birth through my father. My father was a Black Panther in 1968, and then he became Muslim in 1969. So my father has been about the struggle for over approximately 50 years, almost 56 years. My father has been here, and during his time, he had birth to a son like myself. Now, I'm the first in my family to receive a college degree. Anybody know what that is? Anybody else in here first generation? Hey, clap it up for the first generation, yeah! Yes, which means the effort that he put in through the ancestors were brought incarnation and fruition through me. So, what I would like to do is pour a libation for the ancestors that came before us. The first thing I just like to do is just cover the colors that we have today. Does anybody know what the red represents or symbolizes in the red, black, and green Pan-African flag? Anybody? Yes, one person, yes. Ashe. So for the red, we pour a libation for the red, for the blood of our ancestors. Everybody say Ashe? Ashe. All right. Does anybody know what the black symbolizes? Anybody? Up in the background, yes. For the people. Everybody say the black symbolizes for the people. Everybody say Ashe. Ashe. All right. The last one is the green. Does anybody know for the green what the green symbolizes? Anybody?
The ground.
The ground, yes, and anybody else? Africa, anybody else? Anybody else? The green symbolizes the new life, when the trees, when the plants, you have to remember the growth. We come from the earth. In the beginning, it was the plants, it was the trees. Then the Creator put us on the earth. But before that, it's the plant. We receive the oxygen from the plant. We return carbon dioxide, correct? To the plant. So there's a call and response in everyday life. It's just divine creation. It's simple as African technology. That's all it is. So we say Ashe for the green. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Oh. All right. Now.
Let's give a warm welcome to David Murphy Sr., the network of networks and a servant of servants.
Greetings, everyone. Race first. Yes, again, my name is David Murphy, and I publish this publication with many others here across the national Black Unity News. I've been publishing for over 40-something years. Not because I wanted to, because some got anxiety, but because of my lifestyle. I came up in the 60s, the 50s, 73 years old now, 74 this year. And I seen firsthand what discrimination has done. I stood at counters where they wouldn't wait on me. I went to a predominantly white school. I moved to Edison Village in 1961, was the predominantly white community. I had to fight and go through alley just to get to a school bus. When I got to the school, they was protesting, calling me every kind of name but the child of God. But nevertheless, this has been our story since we've been here. And I stand on great shoulders, like Marcus Garvey. That's why we have him on the front cover of this issue. Because it's people like him, that's why I do the things I do as well. That's who I look up to. People like John Johnson or Jack and Ebony magazine. Again, like I said, I stand on pretty sure, but that's who I am and what I do. But the reason I'm here is because of you. My mission is your mission. We need to uplift one another, support one another. This is serious stuff that's taking place today. We need every man, woman, and child to stand. Take your rightful place. Each and every one of you, God has given you. Each and every one of you a gift of talents and gifts. And if you utilize them, if you nurture those gifts, it will make room for you to make a way for you. This is happening to be a gift of mine, this publishing thing. But my mission is, again, to serve my people and for anything else to serve God first. And again, I just want to thank the UNIA for this award. I don't get many, but I don't do this to get awards in the first place. I do it because, as she said before, I'm a servant of service. That's what I do. I serve people who actually serve people. And again, I never told you any longer, but to Everett and everybody else in the UNIA, thank y'all so much. This means a great deal. Really enough. Thank you.
Sure.
Take it off.
I'm so honored. I'm going to start this by acknowledging all those whose shoulders who I stand upon, who we all stand upon. So I'm going to say some names and ask that we all say Ashe. I'm sure most know West African for it is so. We bringing their energy into this space. So I'm going to start with Marcus Garvey. Ashe. Frederick Douglass. Ashe. Philip Kuti. Ashe. Malcolm X. Ashe. Billie Holiday. Ashe. Bob Marley. Ashe. You can add on names. Maya Angelou. Ashe. Langston Hughes.
Ashe.
James Baldwin. Ashe.
Toni Morrison.
Ashe.
Neely Fuller.
Ashe. Ashe. Ntasaki Shange. Nikki Giovanni. Ashe. 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 Queen Nzinga Ashe. And join me in saying Ashe 3 times and then Ashe, Ashe, Ashe-o. And I have to add my parents in that, Viola Wright and Lawton Wright, Ashe. In the bio, as they said, like this red, black, and green, they really took me to these meetings when I was this high. And in the walls of the meeting room was red, black, and green. Both of my parents, Rastafarian, and we went to the OAU, Organization of African Unity. I didn't know what was going on, but it all soaked inside. Like you see the Good Times episode when they got the Black Jesus, that was Marcus Garvey on our walls. Then we had the Last Supper with all the different leaders, and then Marcus Garvey was like the light figure. And my daughter, she's she painted me a beautiful portrait of Marcus Garvey, so this really, truly means a lot. Today is, what's today's date? February 15th? February 13th, 6 years ago. I lost both of my parents to cancer, back to back. On February 13th, 6 years ago, they told me that I had the same aggressive cancer that both of my parents had. And I did the chemo. I'm a holistic person. I had 2 home births with both of my children, but I did the chemo. And eventually the chemo gave me a heart attack. And I had to stop the chemo. And I really thought I was going to be gone a month later, like my parents had both, what had happened to them when they got the same disease. But my father came to me in a dream, told me what to do. It saved my life. And so 6 years later, I'm here, and I continue to be here. So just receiving this award 2 days after all of that, that's been heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind. So I'm just gonna even though I just brushed with death, the truth is none of us know how long we have here. So please do what you came here to do. If you don't know what you came here to do, make that your purpose to figure out what you came here to do. Don't waste time, and especially don't waste time to tell people you love them and get them your flowers. And I'm so grateful for these flowers. Thank you.
First of all, our people are addicted. They're not gonna ride when the police murders one of our brothers or sisters, but they'll ride if they close Popeyes. This is just how they have us right now. And so what we have to do, sister, we have to get some business-minded people that are supremely economically intelligent that look like us to create our own business. Because now, since it's so much death and destruction, you got the Korean carryout, you got the smoke shop, you got the vape shop, you got the liquor store, you got the Popeyes, you got the Royal Farms, and then you got the dialysis center. See, it's all lined up for your destruction. Yeah. Because see, if you're unemployed and you're strung out with your tongue out, you're not working nowhere, you just got out of prison, nobody wants to hire you, you're on parole, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to medicate. Then you're going to get comfortable and numb yourself. Then you begin to accept being in that vibration. And then you'll continue to do it. Some of y'all know people, man. We got family members been doing like this for years. Like this for years. They have been in about 3,000 treatment centers. It just, they haven't done internal cleansing. And then they go to the dialysis center. They go to the Negro Center. All the broke machines from the white neighborhoods, they come down there with blood still in the hoses and everything. And then they tell you you're going to be okay, but we're going to need the kidney. But your kidney is good. But Becky and Karen, they need the kidney. They need a melanated kidney. They'll give you a pig kidney. So what we have to do, we got economic strategists all in here. We got people with great, brilliant, supreme ideas on how to rebuild the community. But if we're not supporting each other, it's not going to work. Because we're the biggest consumers on the planet. How many of y'all bought Valentine's?
You want to come up and say a couple words? Then we have some performances after that.
Please give Brother Tashaka another round of applause. I first saw this brother on Facebook. He had a podcast. Every time I came on, he'd be like, Brother Everett. It's like, this brother Newman, he just introduced everybody. And he gave the UNIA a shout out. Before I go, and we're going to bring Lady Prez up, I just had to go over a little bit with you guys real quick. How many people know that the UNIA is a government? Did y'all know that? We have a flag. We have a constitution. We have an anthem, which is the Ethiopian anthem. I always say there's a reason why they don't teach Marcus Garvey in school. Marcus Garvey created a government for our people. We're not just an organization. So I represent, as not only the president of Baltimore, Minister of Information for the whole UNIA globally. So I wanted to make sure I talked to you about a couple of things. We have a grocery store in New York. We have 3 farms, one in Liberia, one in the island of Curacao, and I'm sorry I went blank, I forgot what the other one was. We have 3 farms. We're trying to bring a grocery store, which we have in New York, to Baltimore. We have our own line of food. All of this is black owned. So what your dollars are doing when you donate to the UNIA, it's going to that grocery store in Baltimore. That's going to be all black owned with black employees. That's going to be getting food from Liberia and Curacao and Jamaica. I think that's where the other farm is. That flag is a symbol of nationhood, building. And it wasn't just Marcus Garvey. It was our ancestors. Still to this day, the UNIA is the largest ever black organization created globally. So I'm going to end on this because I'm sure a lot of you guys heard that they pardoned Marcus Garvey. And we're happy because that lifts a cloud over Marcus Garvey. But on the pardon it says clemency. Clemency, last time I checked, means to forgive. And Marcus Garvey's innocent. So, speaking from our President General, he's the 10th successor to Marcus Garvey, the 11th President General, Michael Duncan. His stance is this: we want Marcus Garvey exonerated. We don't want a piece of the pie, we're taking the whole pie. And until we get that, we're going to continue to fight for Marcus Garvey. So I wanted you guys to know that. If you want to know more about the government, if you want to know more about our divisions in Ethiopia, Ghana, Toronto, Vancouver, Nigeria, Liberia, New York, we everywhere. But it's not like it used to be. Marcus Garvey created the UNIA, and people don't know this, but if you have African descent, you got that melanin, you're already a member. Because it's for you. We're just officers. Our duty is just to serve you.
Yeah.
Was the food good too?
Yeah.
We got some other stuff for you. I just wanted to come up here. I don't think this pain can sit me down but so much. I'm not one of them. I'm that warrior, and I navigate through it. It has been painful. But this is necessary to reach out to my family. You're my family. And when I think about the togetherness that's starting to happen, I see us coming together. I see us being more aware, being more intentional, when loving one another. And I'm so happy about that. I want to also, if you could just give the Black Cross nurses a hand clap, because they helped me in tremendous ways. Thank you so much. Demendi, thank you so much. My sister, she's here. She came and got those balloons. She came and, all hands were on deck without me really having to ask. That's love. And let love spread throughout this place. Meet somebody that you never met before. Shake somebody's hand. Exchange a number. If your spirit guides you to that person, get their number. This is how we connect as a people. We have to unite, and we don't have a lot of time.
Yes,
the world is going crazy.
Yeah.
And we need to know where each other's at. We need to know what each other's number is. We need to know our map to safety. Okay? So we need to come together so that we can be a help and assistance to one another when the time comes. Because it's coming. We got a whole fool in that daggone president. Oh, it's crazy, but it don't have to affect us. It doesn't have to affect us. United we stand, divided we fall. Just want to say a little bit. I want to tell each and every one of you how much I love you and appreciate you coming into this room, spending time with us. Thank you so much. Now, do you know what your Huru Sasa means? So when I say Yahoo, salsa. Yahoo! 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 Freedom now.
Thank you. Clip, you gotta push the clip. All right. Thank you, Lady President. So now we got.
Every woman wants a good man. Every woman wants a good man. And what's more appealing than a revolutionary in a fitted cap? Him Rasta, under the hat, under the act, no Oscar Mandingo who thinks quick but speaks slow with a swag that reeks go when he's ready. A renegade with a steady blade cut from a cloth that was fashioned in a fabric that was patterned after Panther's passion. And all these ratchets swear to God they can have it. Oh, you think you can handle a Chairman Fred Hampton? Oh, you Mama Akua too. Read her story thinking you could do it too. You think you got what it takes to be the queen of a Mumia Abu Jamal. All in all, yeah, you a down, sister. But if your mister was a political prisoner, how long would you stay down, sister? Because average Joes get average Joes and he's been chose, so no. I'm not talking about running behind a street soldier hugging blocks. I'm talking about jogging with a juggernaut. Either you a thug or not. The only cause with the clause is that the cause comes with no office or hours. And the building keeps moving when he's building a movement. Could you get in tune with the changes? Could you handle the fire of a freedom fighter? Imagine what you gotta be if your king's a messiah. Could you keep him inspired when he's tired? Would you make home a heaven or a hell? Or hell, would you believe him? Or hell him as a heathen if his honor was honestly to the people first? Whether leading the church or seeming a hurt, could you follow this man knowing his steps could lead to the dirt? Could you see him in a hearse? What if he told you he was leaving in March? To lead in the march? Away from his seed in his heart because of a seed in his heart. Could you see in his heart, have belief in a mark towards a high calling? Or do I hear crickets chirping? Would you desert him if his purpose took precedence over any relationships at present tense? Would you present tense, I'm saying? Would you invest in his interests? Share his heart with a mistress? Minus the hips and tits, but just as tempting as any other temptress, and she's carrying his baby with no prior intercourse, just in the course of creating change, they created change that bore her name, revolution, and she sure know how to choose them. She knew some when she seduced them, refused to lose them. Would you miss them for the mission? Could you miss missionary? Could you handle the vision of a visionary? Would you beat down or be scary on a battlefield? Could you battle hills for mountains? Could you keep your fountain faithful and sacred when you mount them? Could you handle the outcome of a Malcolm, I'm saying? What if his job was working for God and had no tangible pensions? Would you be throwing tantrums and bitching, or would you try to assist him? Or try to convince them to hold for a system for diamonds and riches? I'm saying, would you spaz or shabazz? Get on your Betty thing, Coretta King. Could you put it all on your wedding ring? What if you caught this man flirting with freedom? Would you let it ring? I'm saying, we hail these dudes for big dudes with big shoes, but we forget who watches the feet. I'm saying, we hail these dudes for big dudes with big shoes, but we forget who washes the feet. Who helped them mobilize with mobilize? Gave up everything in their normal lives for everything but normal lives, and to no surprise, yes, he's great. But I think sometimes we underestimate what it takes. No, for real, we underestimate what kind of woman it takes. Loving a brother, building a legacy could cause, because while he's out here fighting for just us, it's not just y'all, it's a just cause. And just cause, the system want to lynch him. Even the brothers in the street want to clap at him like talented strippers. And long after this world puts them in the ground in the grave, guess what? Them seeds still got to be raised. So I'm asking, how strong is your garden? Could you be the goddess of a god with a Garvey heart, a Huey spark, just trying to leave his mark in his life? Do you really got what it takes to be a revolutionary wife? That's just something to think about. They asked me and I replied without a blink of doubt. Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much.
bro.
Peace and blessings, everyone. I heard talk earlier about how we reclaim the community, and I stand 10 toes down that we reclaim the community with culture. We have to, it starts with culture. That's where our values come from, that's where our identity comes from, that's where our purpose comes from. So this first piece, a little taste of culture, is called Born in the Blackness. That's where we come from. So check it, it's like this. We was born in the blackness, formed in the blackness, honed in the blackness, home in the blackness. We was our own in the blackness, our light shone in the blackness. It was warm in the blackness, but then we got snatched from our blackness, caught up in some madness, woke up on a slave ship, heard the crack of slave whips, chains on our feet and wrists, sleeping in our own mess. And now we get scorned for our blackness, torn for our blackness, burned for our blackness, branded on our backs and necks. The ships landed in the wilderness, taught us a Western myth that blackness was badness. And now we wish we never had this. Skin tone of blackness, original inhabitants, taught to be subservient, hated for our blackness, beat for our blackness, mistreated for our blackness, hung for our blackness, was shunned for our blackness. They made us run from our blackness. Now we forgot about our blackness, acting like it's past tense, thinking like we Anglicans, forgetting that we Africans ashamed of our blackness, attacking our own blackness. But we gotta get back to our blackness, get about this madness, live in the blackness, heal in the blackness, the reals in the blackness, throw up a black fist, fight for the black cause, some kids in the back hall, gotta give back, y'all, gotta keep it black, y'all, back to the motherland. That's what I'm really saying. Africa for Africans, let's organize our blackness with economic practices, buy from black businesses. That's what I'm really saying. Thrive in the blackness, survive in the blackness, be alive in your blackness. If you're conscious that we Africans, then hold on to your blackness. It is our duty to be black, y'all. Mothers and fathers of the earth, y'all. To all the nations we gave birth, y'all. We was the first, y'all. Get back to black, y'all. Get back to black, y'all. Black out.